Merry Christmas, everybody. It's time for a special edition of the Hot or Not podcast. Special that it's up for everybody on the YouTubes. Otherwise, we're going to be doing the same nonsense that we always do, Chip.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, safe and merry. I don't know. Some guy yesterday, I was in line to get a Powerball ticket, and I didn't even, I'm telling you, I didn't even realize it was Christmas Eve. That's how much of a loser I am. Sitting there, and the guy just keeps talking to me, and he's like, so, what are you doing tomorrow? The guy thought he was asking me for a date or something. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I don't know, same old, same old. I'm just standing there. And the problem is, too, is I don't really play the lottery a lot. So how I'm in line. There's a big line because it was a huge deal. I'm in line and I'm really nervous about using this machine. I've never really used it. People are in line. I just imagine I'm going to get up to the thing and just not know, and people are going to start yelling at me and things like that.
Giving you the look. I'm
trying to watch the other people use the machine. This guy he just kept turning around. Oh, so yeah, I'm like, I don't know, same old, same old. He goes, oh, and then he goes, oh, so you spending tomorrow with the family? I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then he just kind of looked at me like, oh God, look at this Scrooge. And then I realized, oh crap, tomorrow's Christmas. That's how our family doesn't really celebrate the holidays much. It's a dark time for my wife. So when the kids were growing up, it was it was sketchy. It was sketchy, the Christmas deal. So they don't even really come over. Nobody comes over, and it's not much of a big deal. But yeah, this guy. And then at the end, so he goes ahead of me, and then I go up and ask, he's like, hey, hopefully we're all rich tomorrow for Christmas. I'm like, oh, Christmas. I get it.
So the weird science family Christmas tradition is to make everybody uncomfortable about how you don't even acknowledge Christmas exists?
That's kind of the way that it is. And a couple of years we had trees, but that didn't work. It's a bad time in our house. Everything from about Thanksgiving to New Year's there's a cloud over the house, and we kind of do avoid it. So my wife tries to say at points, oh, it's just commercial deal, this and that. I'm like, whatever, but it'd be nice. So the kids, I think what they do is like the opposite, where they have a big Christmas. I should be involved because I never put a kibosh on anything, but I'm not. So,
they're still excluding you?
Yeah, I think that what they do is go over to their girlfriends' and wives' houses and things like that, where actually people celebrate. I am making 2 meals for them. After we're done, I'm going to make these cowboy beans that I used to make for them when they were younger, and also some mac and cheese or something that I want. But that's what I'll be doing. Some people make cookies. I make cowboy beans.
Are you going to deliver the cowboy beans like in a Santa suit to their houses?
Well, maybe I'll do that. I'll dress up in assless chaps and head down there now. Zach is going to be coming over later tonight, and he's just going to grab them. But no gift. Like, I actually expected maybe one gift from somebody. Didn't get it. No gifts for me. So I got them gifts, though. I got them. I usually get them like, money cards, those things, those gift cards. So I got them those, but nothing for me. Nothing for Daddy.
I got you a camera.
Yeah, you did. It's not being put to use. You got me that, but that was a while ago, but you did.
Well, I've now decided it's a Christmas present.
Okay, well, there you go. So I got that. Something. Well, here's the thing. You say that. I'm just saying I didn't get anything from my kids. I actually got a bunch of gifts from people that I record with, and also people that just end up listening to the podcast. I consider them my family, including you, not my kids. Not my kids. And I even said to Zach, I was like, oh, and I said, hey, because the one guy, this guy, Mark, every year for Christmas, he gets me this subscription to this coffee company, and it's like really fancy and it's good. And when they were a little bit younger and living at the house, they really liked it. So I said, hey, Mark got me that, the coffee again. And Zach's like, oh, that's nice. And then just walked away. So, though with Zach,
he's the hint.
No, he's the one fixing the house. Legit, if he got me a gift, I would be paying for it because I've been funding him because he's now in debt. So it would have just been from me anyway. all that coming down. If we're doing a refinancing of the house that'll give him his money back, then maybe I would have gotten a gift. But no, nothing at all. And I even said to Zach, "Hey, tell Logan and Rafe that I'm making those cowboy beans." The word back was they're probably not going to eat them. So I got upset too. I was really mad. I even think because they'll say somehow they think I wash. I don't wash dishes, and I just cook with dirty dishes. I said, "Who does that?" But I even
I don't know. Jim, this is going out on the YouTube. It's not just going to be on the Patreon channel memberships. You didn't wash your shirts for a year. You just bought new shirts.
Yeah, but I still had new shirts. I actually.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a suspicion that I can understand.
Maybe. Did I tell you that we did finally, Zach hooked up our washer and dryer, and I did all my wash, but I did count, and of the ones remaining, 87 white t-shirts. I had 87 white t-shirts and 28 pairs of shorts, all in a pile. It was huge. It was humongous. It looked like you could like jump in it like it was a pile of leaves or something, but I did do all the wash. Though Tanya was mad because I believe the 87 that they all went in at once. I made it. This is what happened when I was younger, when we first got married. I ended up where, as a joke, I was doing some wash and the kids were there. I think it was a little past. I mean, we did have, the kids were old enough, some of them. So I think it was Zach and Alex, my two oldest. And I said, watch, when mom comes in, I'm going to play a joke on her. So she comes walking into the laundry room and I was standing in the wash, like jumping down to get the wash down as a joke. I still hear about it at least once a month. When I say anything about wash, nothing, I still hear, "You're not allowed to do that. You were jumping in." And then afterwards, she claimed that I did that so I didn't have to do any wash. I said, it was a joke. So that,
I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
you see a grown man jumping up and down in the wash machine, you might not want him to use it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was a guy. I was like 26, 25, but I was just jumping in there as a joke. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was probably 30. So I was jumping around. Yeah, but again, it was a joke. But
the joke's on you because you're still hearing about it.
Well, yeah, that is true. I did say to my wife, like, everything, she always claims I'm mean. And I said, when did I ever, like, there's never been a time that I walked into a room yelling or ever said to her, like, "Where's my wash? I never would. I never did." And this past week, because she's coming back tonight for Christmas, but Zach said to her the other day, "You are so mean to Dad. I've never seen anybody more mean. And Dad, when you're not here, he always talks about you and whatever." And Tanya's laughing. The minute we went upstairs, the face turned and she was like, "That's bullshit." She was so mad. And I said, "You're doing it now.
You're in a tough spot there, Jim. Yeah, you want to agree with the boy because he's making a good point."
I was agreeing with him. The thing is,
you're going to piss off the wife.
What I said was, because she said, "No, you're meaner to your wife, Sakura, his wife's name is, you're meaner to her." And I said, "I don't know about that." And that's how I got in trouble. But there you go.
Yeah. There's no win situation there, Jim.
I also have to make a Jewish apple cake tonight because she's coming home and that's what she wanted for Christmas. So I'm going to be baking and cooking it up. But that's
Susie. I like her. I love it.
Yeah, really. But that's that. But again,
so I got to ask you a question, Jim.
Okay.
Your wife, Mrs. Science, says we don't celebrate Christmas because it's been commercialized. Well, that means you don't have to give her a Valentine's gift, correct?
That is true. I actually
holiday.
The first thing she said, dude, it's funny you said that. She said that. She even said it like last week. And I said, "Oh, so I guess Mother's Day and Valentine's Day out." Because you don't. And she's like, "Well, it's more than that, though." She had some bad times, but the deal. But it's just, it ends up where she'd always try to get through it. And so, because I said it's not the kid's fault and whatever, but she couldn't do it. It was bad. One year, because
we just watched Gremlins. The lady in Gremlins had a similar situation, but not nearly as bad with her uncle, or is it her dad that gets stuck in the chimney?
Yeah.
Ruin Christmas forever.
Yeah. That would ruin it, though. But in the meantime, one time, she ended up where for Christmas, she got all the kids. We have 5 kids, and she got them all gift certificates to the bookstore. They didn't like that Christmas. And what happened was, it was so weird. You ended up where that Christmas, there were actually, I think Logan and Ethan started crying. They were so upset. And Zach's birthday is December 8th. And we had a birthday party, and it was at this one, like YMCA. And for some reason, he never really brought the gifts in and didn't really care about them. So I ran out to my car and I grabbed Zach's birthday gifts, wrapped them, and gave them. It was the worst. I gave some of Zach's Christmas or birthday presents to them for Christmas, so they didn't just get gift certificate. Because even so, you end up getting these cards as a kid. You can't do anything with them. You're just
here's the thing,
with
Jim.
Card that day.
You're talking about gift certificates. I'm assuming this is old school where you got like Barnes and Noble bucks.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
but they weren't like cards where there's some fun in it, or you go to Amazon.
There was nothing.
You got like fake money.
It was like Borders and Barnes and Noble. Yeah. And they looked at them. They didn't even know what they were. And I'm like, well, you could go and get books. They're like, books? That's when Ethan started crying. It's like, it's the worst Christmas ever. That happened a lot. All
my kids got books for Christmas, but they also got toys.
Yeah. Well, I fought and I lost that year. That didn't work out. And then I think after that, like very early, then the kids just ended up where they just either wanted money. One of the things Rafe each year, one of his gifts would have been the Madden when Madden come out, but that usually comes out in August. So he wanted early and Christmas just got ruined. It was the worst. So me here alone with my dog, maybe the best Christmas ever.
Ideal?
Yeah, and I didn't even know it was happening, so I didn't get upset. But I'm going to make some stuff, eat some stuff tonight, maybe watch some football. Though my son Zach,
you don't want to watch some football.
Well, my son
getting smoked by the Broncos.
Yeah. My son Zach, they also had to put their dog down. That really made the week a great time too. And it's huge dog, and he was old, but he loved me, which irritated Zach and his wife so much that this dog liked me so much. I swear to God, that's why they put it down. That's what I'm saying now. I told Tanya. And
that was your Christmas present?
Yeah. And I'm like, the dog's name was Frank. And Frank, every time he'd come over, he'd start barking for me. I'd have to come down and sit with them. And right before they took him away, and didn't tell me until they were on their way, because I wouldn't have let them. We were eating, I had BLTs, and he was eating some BLTs with me. He had his last meal with me. And that kind of upset me. It actually upset me more than I thought it would. I was really upset.
Well, it's upsetting me right now, Jim.
Yeah, it was really upset. The dog. Well, this is what I'm doing right now. Even though most people will probably watch this after they've celebrated most of their Christmas, I want them to realize how good their Christmas is compared to mine. I'm a sad sick. Still sick too, so that's great.
So you still got the COVID?
Yeah. I can't get rid of it.
At what point does it become long COVID? It's been 3 weeks.
I guess it's already long COVID, and it's almost, on Tuesday around, it'll be 4 weeks. It's nonsense. I can't breathe at night. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just have something else. That's what it seems. And I'm waiting it out. So I'll be cooking today though. Cooking my COVID, coughing all over it. Maybe that's why they won't eat it, but they don't. Rafe told me at one point, I like everything that you've ever cooked. You're a great cook, but you're too dirty. So thanks.
That's not what you want to hear, is it?
No. I got mad. I said to him, I make sure that I'm clean when I cook for other people. Yeah, if I'm cooking for myself, I might not be the clean, but I'll still wash the dishes. So I bought all new dishes to make these meals too. I went out and got new pots and pans. We'll see. I'll eat some. These cowboy beans too are like the craziest thing. They're the sweetest thing ever. I don't think they'll like them anymore. I haven't made them in 10, 15 years. I think they're going to be shocked.
You're trying to bring back the magic.
Well, yeah, because they were talking on Thanksgiving. They were talking about them. They said that was like the best thing they ever ate, and they wished that they could have them. It took me a while to find the recipe on all recipes because I made up the name, and I found it though. I'm good to go. I'm going to make them. A lot of brown sugar in them, I'll tell you. a lot.
We do a cowboy stew, but there might be some sugar in it, but it's very little.
Yeah, this is very sweet. I don't even know why. They're called settlers beans is the real recipe. And I just call them cowboy beans to kind of spruce it up a bit. And I think we used to like yell stuff when we made them, but it's like three types of beans. Yeah, stuff like that. I have a lasso going. Yeah. Yeah, there's like 3 types of beans. It has meat in it, some onion, ton of brown sugar. Pretty good though, but they always talk about them. So I'm going to make that, and then the mac and cheese, more for me. I got a hankering for homemade mac and cheese, so I'm going to make that.
We should probably talk about some comic books and get you to cooking, Susie Homemaker.
Yeah, we got to do that.
She's got a big Christmas ahead of him.
I got my
people might not believe it.
Oven.
We're recording this on Christmas Day.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, it's the day after Christmas here because it's almost 3 a.m.
But here it's just mid-afternoon Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there. Yep. Off we go. I have my
not
Christmas
a great
and
week
everything.
for Marvel. Even by Marvel standards, this one's pretty bad. We got the Marvel Winter Break Special #1, the Will of Doom #1, and new issues of 1776, Amazing Spider-Man, Cloak or Dagger, Expatriate, X-Men, Spider-Man 94, Star Wars, Undeadpool, and X-Vengers. So lots of, I guess, finales for Age of Revelation and a couple of #1s, and I guess AS7. That's about it. Did you check out the Winter Break Special?
I did not. I didn't think that you would. We usually don't talk about anthologies, so I did not check it out.
It was a light week. I was like, how could they screw this up? It's just a special Christmas themed issue. It's not really Christmas themed. It's cold, but there's no Santa or mention of Christmas. And it's from Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks. I don't remember who the artist is, but it's half comic book story and then it's half pinups. Because
Nick Bradshaw is the artist, by the way.
Nick Bradshaw, there you go.
Yep.
Because Gwenpool is there and she's the official photographer of the event.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd be reading the story and it just stops and you get all these like homoerotic images of
they are
Namor skating like with his ass to the camera.
I ended up saying to
what
you,
is
like,
this?
I said I didn't even look at it. I'm wrong. When I'm looking at it now and realize, oh yeah, I went through it, and so I'm like, boy, there's a lot of skin in this. Holy moly! I remember telling the guy I do the Marvel show with, holy crap! Like at one point, you end up She-Hulk and her bikini is broken and she's about to be nude. You end up Tigress. Holy moly! I mean, there's some crazy stuff. Also, Storm, and I don't know what's going on there, but there's some.
Yeah, but then the next page you get a banana hammock, and you're like, God damn it!
Yeah. I don't need that. But as you said, the craziest one is Namor. That's the one
that's the one that'll stick with you.
Yeah, it actually, if you got a dog, it could be the Coppertone ad with him underwater, the dog grabbing his bikini deal. It's very odd. But hey, there you go.
That's a good way to describe this book. I guess it's a follow-up to their spring breakout special or whatever they did, a swimsuit issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roxxon Corporation is creating a machine that's powered by the natural resources of the Savage Land to stop global warming. So it makes everything cold in the Savage Land. So everybody just like shows up there.
Yeah.
And I read the book not that long ago, and I'm already forgetting details, but it's like somebody's like, let's change out all this because it's so cold. And as they're changing, I don't know, all the clothes blow up. So it's like nobody's got shirts on and stuff.
They don't have shirts.
And then they're fighting like what's his name? Sauron, the pterodactyl guy.
Yep.
And a few other villains. And then at the end, Gwenpool opens up a bag and it's full of sweaters, and you get all these sweater puns. It's like Argyle Assemble or something stupid like that.
I saw that. Yeah. Angoras Assemble.
There you go.
Have Deadpool say with this half-baked cookie shirt.
Yeah, so everyone's wearing, I guess maybe that's the Christmas part of the theme, but I think they're just ugly sweaters.
Yeah. You have Jeff the Land Shark back there. Where's Sully?
Jeff the Land Shark wins.
Yeah.
So Sully will be happy.
Yeah. I think Sully would like this.
Oh, Sully would love this. So has the type of stupid lowbrow humor that would tickle Sully's fancy.
Yes, it would. And there's strong men in it, dressed scantily. So he might like it even more. I
think he probably appreciates the moose knuckle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
Yes, there is. At least Daredevil's there and he's got like shorts on, but they're still too tight. There's a lot
of compression pants even when they're wearing shorts.
Holy moly. Some of these pictures are just crazy. I'm looking through it right now. Yeah.
There's a really good Carrie Andrews pinup that I noticed.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. That's probably the best one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fancy. Holy
don't know that this one was worth the $6 or $7. I think it's a $6 cover price because it's like half pinups, half comic book story.
Yeah.
And does not change my opinion on the current efforts of Marvel and DC combined on doing any type of holiday special, whether it be Christmas, Thanksgiving, fucking 4th of July, any holiday. They're just terrible at it these days.
Nope, they are. They just throw stuff out there. They just throw it out there, and to this one, including the pinups. I mean, you might like the pinups, but it's still crazy.
There's a Will's Portacio in here that I guess it's a pinup, but it's less of a pinup than the other ones. And you can see that Will still has it, so I'll give him that too. Probably the second best thing about it.
Which one was it? I'm trying to find it here.
I'm forgetting the exact details. I just remember seeing the Wills one. There's like 3 characters in it.
I'm looking here. I'm going to Annie Wu with that Namor. Holy Christ.
The Namor one's rough.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that Stacey Lee, the Storm and Black Panther is okay. It just, it's a little sus there.
I don't think that Black Panther feels that way about Storm. It looks like the cover of a really dirty girls' romance book.
Yeah, I think he's feeling something more than what he usually does. It's crazy.
What do they call it, like the milking stool or something?
I'm looking at it.
Put some horns on it.
I don't know about that one. Yeah, I'm still, I guess I can't find it. I'm looking around for all these things, but there's so many. But I'll take your word for it. That, the thing is, and there's a lot of like letters and stuff in the thoughts and opinions. The hell is that? But hey, there we go. I didn't read it, but it looks. And then it says the Marvel swimsuit special will return in 2026. Thank goodness. That's all I was hoping for.
Hopefully with Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley.
Yeah, why not?
Lots of callbacks to his Rogue and the Savage Land book in this one. So if you enjoyed that one, this might be a must read. I
see the Portacio deal. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and it's got a ton of characters in it. It's pretty cool. You got some crazy stuff going on in it, but I do like it. All right.
Yeah, I won't give that one a knock because it is what it is. It's meant to be a goofy, stupid humor book, and that's what it is. It just isn't particularly good at it. So I'll just call that one a mid personally. I also read the Will of Doom #1 from Chip Zdarsky, the follow-up to One World Under Doom that I think nobody on the planet really wanted.
No. I saw a bunch of people because of, announcements with Ryan North and coming to DC and doing some things. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing. Ryan North. And then I said, really? Like, do you like this One World Under Doom? And then they're like, oh, I don't like that. So even the people are like, he's the best ever. I'm like, really? And they're like, oh, no, that he's not good at events. I'm like, yeah, he's not really good. That's the thing, too. And not that this is
events is his kryptonite, Jim.
Yeah, well, events is. But when you write the Fantastic Four, I'm telling you right now, I can't say, and I wouldn't be able to say that it's a definitive run. And this is something that I've been arguing with people, not just Fantastic Four, but every book. Any issue that comes out, it seems people are like, this is the definitive run. I don't think you can say that if you can't write Doom. And he does not write Doom. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm going to go a step further, Jim. I don't think you can say that about Ryan North's Fantastic Four because it's not Stan and Jack's Fantastic Four, which is the definitive, and it's not John Burns, which is the only one that you could be argued as
Exactly. And so when if people say, hey, this is pretty good, I haven't had a good, you could start arguing, but they keep saying these things. So Definitive Run, this guy just kept going on. I said, number one, with Doom and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, he doesn't write a good Doom. And then other people jumped in and just said, he also doesn't get any of these characters. But
He doesn't
again,
get science at all.
Yeah. It was bad. But lo and behold, this is Chip Zdarsky anyway. But yeah. Not great.
Man, you could be a little fired up about that Fantastic Four discussion. That's like, you can say it's better than Dan Slott's Fantastic Four, but let's not go too far with this.
Well, I told you, I've said this. If people are just listening for the first time, we say it. I say it a lot to you, sometimes yelling at you about it. But I think people settle nowadays where if it's even slightly good, they elevate it so much because everything else is so bad. And that's what's getting me down on comics. And it also gets me down when you start praising things that are mid at best. And then it ends up like they're getting away with this. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you're sitting there trying to say, listen, everybody, it's not great. Oh, no, it's great. It's the best thing ever. I'm like, well, they won. There's no way. Why would you try to do better if mid is great? It drives me nuts. But that's how Brian North, I think is pretty mid. Maybe even that's giving
less than
credit.
Mid, yes.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy him. So hopefully him doing some other things might. I don't know. Sometimes things jumping companies and doing something it inspires you, or you get a character. I'm not going to hold my breath.
He's not one of those writers.
No, I don't think he is. Well, we already read that crypto book. One of the worst things I've ever read. That book was dark beyond
doggy murder.
Oh my God,
doing?
Dark dog abuse and murder, and not even just dog murder, but you were showing like close-ups of his dead eyes. It made me so sad. But this book, again, I keep saying this, but this is Chip Zdarsky. But what does he have here?
Well, Chip's certainly a step up in writer, but he doesn't have much to work with coming out of One World Under Doom. And this is Reed being the executor of Doom's will, and he leaves everything, all of his liquid assets, to Reed's daughter.
Yeah.
And they're not even sure how much money he is worth. And they make this enormous deal about Thunderbolt Ross planting the U.S. flag on like Mount Doom or whatever, where he was being held prisoner. And everyone just gives him a rash of crap, like he's trying to start wars. Like even the Thing is chiming in on this one. I don't know. It didn't feel like a big deal in the book. And I even read Red Hole.
Yep. Yeah. So did I. Yeah. It's
like half this book is about that moment.
Yeah. And I was bored. And boy, it got so talky. Yeah. Like 3 pages in, there was more dialogue than there usually is in 5 issues, and it really threw me off. I know, some people will yell that reading is hard for me, but it just is just chatter. And nothing really stuck. And I don't know what I would have thought anyway. Like the idea that this was going to make everything before it good. It obviously couldn't do that. But I was hoping at least with Chip Zdarsky, I might get a little bit. And I was just bored throughout. I thought it was a slog.
Yeah, Val is now the world's richest teenager.
Yeah.
And Doom, I guess, is like some type of doomsday protocol. If he were to die, all the Doom bots come out and try to like take over the world.
Yeah.
Unless Val can make it to like the secret spot where Doom knows that she should go to turn them all off. And she does. Not exactly exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really care what Val thinks about Doom. I don't think that relationship is nearly as interesting. I think Hickman made it more interesting.
I was going to say it's a big thing, but I'm not real interested in it. Like you know, it hasn't
been interesting for years.
No, and it seems like it's one of those surface level things at this point that you just go with it, and that's a lot of what he hinged this whole One World Under Doom on. And then when you get to this point, like you said, I didn't care over a whole year of One World Under Doom and 80 whatever issues it was with the tie-ins and things like that. So this ends up almost reading this. I actually thought, yeah, this is why I didn't like any of it. Chip Zdarsky being better and can't even do anything. He's given nothing to do this. And yeah, I was not interested.
Yes. Quite mid. The reason the term mid exists is because of books like The Will of Doom.
Yep. And then when you read this and then you get to the end and they're going to have, what is it? The Defenders of Doom or the Dungeons of Doom, I guess it is. It's hard to read in this thing, but it's the road to Armageddon is relentless. I'm like, what's relentless is these events, like they just don't stop. And it's nonsense. And when people get fatigued from events, it's one thing. But the idea that Marvel thinks that people are going to continuously buy 30, 40, 50 books because they're sadly mistaken, I think. And they need to just calm down. They need to have a New Year's resolution, no more events. It'd be nice to have a whole year without, you could tie some things in, you could lead to things, but it's just way too much. It's way too much. But
did you see that Zdarsky included his character that he created in Daredevil?
Yeah.
The detective?
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. That was the most exciting thing about the book.
And I like him, but yeah, and he looks like he's spruced himself up a bit too. But I don't mind him, but that's fine.
So I didn't read 1776. I thought JMS's first issue was embarrassing. So I had no plans to come back and check out the series.
Yeah.
But apparently you cracked it open?
Yeah, I kind of got through it. I wasn't going to talk about it because I'm telling you, at one point, I pretty much oh God, I started kind of skimming by the end. Again, another very talky issue. The problem that he has in this, first off, you're going back in time. 1776, Founding Fathers, all of that. He got stuck. That last issue, the first issue was just bad, right? The art was pretty bad. And just the concept and the way he played it was boring. This is worse. What you do is you have Straczynski has to really explain the history to make sure that people think he knows history. And it's the history seems pretty accurate, and we've talked about history and stuff, and it was with me and you, but it's not going to be that accurate because you get the damn Avengers there and stuff like that. Just have fun with it. And he's really concerned with characters and, they see this guy fighting and oh my God, I didn't know there were black soldiers. That has to be explained. Then each battle has to be overly explained, and it is a slog. I don't think anybody's going to be reading. I don't think anybody's reading it already. I think after this issue, it's done. I don't think anybody will want to read this going forward. It's just boring when it could have been kind of a fun, exciting kind of play. But he's just stuck. So you get Morgan Le Fay, who's half nude. You get to see her butt cheeks at one point. I guess you could like that. I
already got Namor's butt cheeks.
Exactly.
That's all I need.
I'd rather have Morgan Le Fay. I really wish it was accurate and you'd have Ben Franklin going around nude. That would have been cool. Even then, Ben Franklin's hanging out with Tony and he's zipping around in his suit. And then you have crazy things like Spider-Man, Peter Parker. He's there. You don't really need to wear your suit here. Nobody knows you as Peter Parker or Spider-Man, whatnot. And he's going around with his tri-hat and his suit on. It looks so stupid. Cap's dressed up as a colonial. Oh, it's so ridiculous. But by the end, it's just not good. And again, if I said to you, I wish they had this, and we kind of had this before with what's his name? Back in the day, a book kind of like this, but it's just boring and there's magic. It just doesn't work. But out.
Listen, dude, if you had a George Washington, going across the Delaware with the flag there and Spider-Man's up on it, I'd go for some stupid shit like that.
Even the stupid shit like that we had in Red Coat. And that was awesome. And a lot of people said when this came out, oh, it's trying to be Red Coat. Well, it's failing. Because Red Coat was fun, and it still is, and really good character work and whatnot. This just is a mess. This just feels, and why is it coming out now? So weird.
It's leading into the 250th
It's leading, but wait until that. You know what I mean? Have a little more hype going.
We're getting hypes.
I'm telling you, it's just, you could have waited until next summer and put it out. But in the meantime, you have it, no hype, doesn't make sense, and it's boring as shit. So I don't like it. I say,
so that's a not for you.
It's a not. And the art is really, really not good. Not good at all. So it's a not. It's a big nut.
I did read Amazing Spider-Man from Joe Kelly and John Romita Jr. And in the last issue, we found out that Peter Parker is coming back to Earth, and I was like, "Oh, great! He's going to show up this issue." That does not happen.
No. Yeah,
It's
I think he might be delayed back, but they do say that it's coming soon. Right?
It's just like a trauma dump from
Norman
Osborn talking about all of his problems with J. Jonah Jameson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to ask you right now, when Peter comes back, he's been in space, he comes back, why did we do this? Like, it feels like they are delaying something to do something, but I don't think they are. And all these issues are nothing. It feels like you have wasted everybody's time for months now because nothing has really happened. And people will go on, and I see even some reviews, and they're like, oh, this is great with Norman, great character work. I'm like, it's the same old, and it's boring. And it ends up, like you said, you start like, Norman, snap out of it, like, get to it. And then in this issue, like, even more weird things happen. Like, suddenly we end up just having what it ends up being, the goblins attacked, and it just, none of it makes sense.
The goblin slayers there, dude, just kicking out the goblin king, the goblin queen. Coming for the green goblin, anything that's been a goblin.
Everything that's been
in there,
a goblin. Yeah, he's there. But Phil Urich, they're there. But in that too, the way that it plays out, those goblin sections, the goblin slayer sections, are so like jarring that you get to them. You're like, what the hell happened?
Why is there a robot attacking goblins?
Yeah. And I ended up, when we reviewed it this week, I said that this book and the Spider-Man in Space become the battle of what I care about less. I don't really, there's not one of these storylines that I'm sitting there saying, oh my God, I can't wait to see that happens. And
what about Captain Katsugi?
Well, Katsugi comes in and he ends up, all the ladies like him. I'm like, really? That guy with the Jose Canseco shades? Look at this asshole. But here's you say that? Probably the most likable character in this entire issue. He actually is now, but I don't care about him. He's just ridiculous. And Brian Nearing and his mushroom, housing thing.
The fungi experiment.
Yeah, he's the fun guy. He ends up, every time he shows up, the guy has lost 40 pounds and DH. Then he comes back the next issue. He's gained 30, looks older. They cannot get his look down. He has Charles Nelson Riley glasses on this time. And he ends up, by the end, it seems like he's going to become a Mushroom Man villain.
Whoa, he might be the mushroom goblin, dude.
He might be. I'm telling you, you probably had stopped reading the Saladin to Bed Daredevil like everybody else. But at the end of that run, you had a mushroom guy who was, it's going to be the same thing.
You're fucking with me, dude.
No, it won't.
There's a mushroom villain?
There was a mushroom villain, yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? I might have been into that.
You would have liked that? You wouldn't have.
Mushrooms are my favorite food in the world.
I do love mushrooms as well. I actually used to do a sales call at a mushroom farm. Boy, it stunk and it was hot in there. But
oh no, Jim!
My mic cut out. I said I used to get a ton of mushrooms every time I went. But you really, when you go to one of those, you really realize how much you better wash those mushrooms before you eat them. That is a tip everybody should already know. But yeah, mushroom guy, suddenly you have to have some weird tension with him and Peter, which is jealous. Actually Ben. Yeah, but he's getting all the kudos. Yeah, so now because he has to end up being a villain, and it's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
The Mushroom Man.
The Mushroom Man. He's there. Brian Nearing, Mushroom Man. I actually would laugh every time Brian would show up because he's so ridiculous. But even then, you have Dr. Ohm, their boss, who, like, I guess she sits around all day without her shoes on, texting her son. I'm like, well, what kind of CEO is this? Get the hell out of here. And she's like, no, tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. And he gets mad. And then he makes his mushroom house.
I thought we were supposed to be thinking about, like, the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Maybe that has to do with the robot.
Well, yeah, I guess. You end up with. I also like what the Goblin Slayers did, though. Thank God they stopped Ashley Kafka, because she had some crazy therapy sessions where she was legitimately killing everybody. That's not a real great way to do it. And getting all fired up about their sexy talk. I'm like, they did that. Actually, I'm glad they stopped her. She needed to be. Then here's the thing that I'll tell you again. you end up where the other spiders show up. That's where you end up getting Kitsugi. But that was jarring too. Like all of a sudden that happens. Spider Boy, what is he doing? Because he does not have webs. And I think that he might have had webs there and they realized it and erased him because he's like ready to faceplant that. He's like jumping through the air. Very odd. But yeah, that's about it. Norman and everybody will center on Norman and J. Jonah, but it just becomes, it's the same thing. You know, this is my impersonation. Yeah. Norman in this book, since Peter left, has been, you know, it's pretty good. And it's Spider-Man. Like, who, that Peter Parker? He fights everyone and makes jokes. And he keeps going. I mean, you know who's pretty good? That's Spider-Man, Peter Parker. And Jake Jonah's like, I know. I wanted him then to call up Aunt May and say, I told you, you jerk. But they're also drinking. I believe they're drunk. And then by the end, the big play is, I'll get you a new chair because I bled all over it. So there's so much blood, but it's like, he doesn't care. And then he's like, no, get me a rug. I'm like, get me out of here. That's what I need because I don't care about any of these things. I really don't. Except maybe Mushroom Man. That might be pretty cool.
Got potential.
Yeah. And then the thing is, at the end, Peter or Norman goes back to Oscorp, and you end up seeing all the goblins there, and they are so worried that nobody can get that Ashley has to go, they're hunting goblins. Really, like, I think if you didn't get that, and you don't think
so the Goblin King, the Goblin Queen, the Hobgoblin, and now it's here for Norman. Obviously, it's a Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe, wasn't Janine, at one point, Janine was the Queen Goblin. Like, it was all weird before she became the thing. So I don't know if that's going to tie Ben Reilly into it or whatnot, but we'll have to see how this plays out. We'll have to see the deal. I don't know. No, but we will. But that's the problem is, that's another thing that gets me is we'll always read and review Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man. I mean, that's what it is. You have to do it. But boy, it sets a low bar for the entire universe here, and they still can't get anything right. So yeah, I'll
give that one a nod.
Yeah, I'm giving it a nod as well. Pretty bad.
And then my final Marvel read this week, and I don't know what I was thinking, but they didn't have much out there. So I read Expatriate X-Men from E-Viewing, the third and final issue. And I read the first one. I skipped the second one. Wish I'd skipped the third.
Yeah.
You got like, they're in Providence, Rhode Island, in Limbo Land, whatever, where the Dark Child is in charge. And it turns out everybody's been playing everybody. The bird guy that was a mutant that they were supposed to be transporting there was actually working with magic to transport them because he wants custody of his child that he had with Ileana. But Ileana is obviously dead and the Dark Child's there. So she's like, no, I'm keeping her. And, you know, she has to be here to maintain the balance of Limbo. And then he finally grabs her and tries to take her away. And then she turns into fire. And then Tao has turned, I guess, on the team or made a deal with X-Men 3K to bring in surveillance equipment to Providence with the flotilla. And then the Dark Child is going to take the entire flotilla as like payment for all that stuff. And then everyone gets mad at Tao.
Yeah.
And then they decide to leave, but they destroy their ships. And Dark Child's like, yeah, you better never come back. And I was like, I thought you said they owed you ships. Like,
yeah,
that might be the end. I
guess it is.
It was a clusterfuck.
Hell yeah. To me, my X-Men, at the end, and nothing happens. Yeah, I'm going through it right now. It's one of those things I've said to you before. Like, if you go through, and, you know, I'm reading it digitally, so I go through like pretty quick. I'm going through the deal, and there are points where when you do that, you'll realize that it's just a bunch of people yelling at each other and doing nothing. And yet the art is trying desperately to make it look exciting, but it's just people yelling at each other. That's all this is, this whole issue. Why does E-Viewing still have a job? I don't.
Why did these X-Men start their own flotilla in the Mississippi River?
Nobody will ever figure that out. Here's the thing:
it's like international waters or something. I guess.
Me and you, at one point, we would talk about events when they're done. But this Age of Revelation, there's no way. But there might be a time where we have to just decide which was the worst book. because Unbreakable is it's pretty hard to beat with this.
Unbreakable is the worst book.
That has to be the worst, right? This is pretty bad.
At least at this point, they went into the Revolution territories.
Yeah.
And dealt with one of his acolytes or something. I think maybe Magic isn't part of Revelation's team. Man. I don't know.
Unbreakable. They'll be studying that book in years, like of just what to do wrong. Whew. But this is pretty bad. But a lot of them, none of them has any of them that we've actually talked about like ended like where we said, "Oh my God, that was really."
No, yeah. I finished Omega Kids and was really
Omega Kids. Yeah, it made it so it didn't feel like that was anything worth everything. Reading. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They keep ending with a thud, even if they start really bad. They end worse. It's bad.
Amazing X-Men. I don't think it ended.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you got to get to the Omega issue, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you that the guys who do our X-Men stuff, these two guys, Jason and Ruben, they love everything. Not these things. I even say they're really getting weary of all this nonsense. So, yeah, I don't think this.
But they've been enjoying From the Ashes.
Yeah, they have. I don't know how. I think they might be high, but they haven't. They're more like the idea. Anything that we would say is a 7, they would think is a 15. If we think it's a 3, they'll think it's a 9. It's just they just go positive spin, but I don't know. I don't get it.
Can't spin this positive, dude.
No, it's pretty bad. Gabe, you see any Gabe reviews for any of this stuff? Does he even touch the X-Men stuff at all? I don't even know. But I'll have to look. We'll have to see Gabe's sus take of the week so people can get that on the YouTube. They can realize Gabe's nonsense, but we'll see. I'm going
to give that one a nod.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but I can just by paging through, and you talked a string of words that seemed like you were talking another language, but yet you were describing the book perfectly.
Thank you. Yeah. People think I'm lying sometimes. Like, I'm telling you, that's what happened.
No, that's the problem. Is sometimes when you describe something right, it's you have no right to describe it that way because it makes no damn sense. But that's what it was. It's what it was. So,
yeah. Did you read anything else from Marvel?
Nope, that is it.
Like I said, there really just wasn't anything here. Yeah. But wrapping up Marvel, Jim and I agree that Amazing Spider-Man is a not. Jim says 1776 is a not, and I say Expatriate X-Men is a not. Unfortunately, we didn't have any hots this week. Moving over to DC Comics, we did get DC K.O. Red Hood versus the Joker, and new issues of Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Detective Comics, Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Harley and Ivy, Life in Crimes, Harley Quinn, Immortal Legend, Batman, Justice League Red, Justice League Unlimited, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, and Superman. They have a plus size week this week because they are literally not releasing a book for New Year's week.
Yeah, I was going to tell you better tell people why there's this many books, not one book next week. That is ridiculous, especially that they released them on Christmas Eve, but won't release something around New Year's? What is that? It's so odd to me. And it really screwed me up with our podcast because nobody can record this week. So I'm going to have to like push things back and all this nonsense. So I'm mad at DC. But they have a lot of books. Some of them might be good. I don't know. Well, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, you got to talk about the big one, dude. We're into the final round of the DC K.O. one-on-one fights this week, and we'll hit all 3 of them. First up, we got DC K.O. Red Hood versus Joker. I believe it's Williamson and Scott Snyder writing, and then Dustin Wynn and Giuseppe Camincola on art. And, this is something that you could look forward to. I believe chronologically speaking, it's the final book in the story, which is somewhat important because you do have that stupid dark side controlled booster gold thing going on basically through each issue. So if you read this one first, which you're likely to do because it's the most interesting one, at least of the titles, it's actually the last one you're supposed to read this week.
Yep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, I don't know.
There's some issues with this book.
Yeah.
Namely, Red Hood taking a big ass like hunting knife,
Yeah.
jabbing it through the back of Joker's neck, out through his mouth, kicking it with his boot to make it go through further, and Joker running away as if nothing happened.
Yeah, it just runs away. It's one thing to be crazy. I don't know. And through this,
I saw someone die from a punch.
Yeah, Zatanna just punched Harley.
Zatanna's not superpowered.
No, just straight up punched Harley's face in and killed her. Joker got it's cool to have some big moments. It's cool to do some things, but when you do that, I'm looking for the KO. At that point, it was not there. Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. And again, you're playing the idea. I don't care how crazy. I live with a crazy lady. You end up doing that. There's no crazy doesn't make you survive something like that, and it's ridiculous. And I had a couple problems with this book. I expected way more. I expected the art to be better. It was okay, but I'm not going to say it blew my mind. And by the end, I thought half of the kills were a weird, ambiguous deal where I had to sit there and go, okay, I guess he got it. And then at the end, I'm like, all right. And then you just play nonsense with the Joker. So I ended up not liking it very much. Gabe hated it. I was looking at Gabe's reviews. He gave it a 4. I think it might be a little better than that, but I didn't like it much. But what about you?
Red Hood has a special bullet designed by he and Batman with the chemical that created Joker in the first place, and he shoots him with this, which is supposed to do something, and Joker just kind of shakes it off and tosses him in a vat of chemicals. Yeah. That's the first kill. And then they did what you knew that they had to do. Red Hood decides, the form he's going to take for his next fight is going to be him as Robin. When he was killed by Joker. And then this is probably the thing I didn't like the most. I didn't mind them going back to the warehouse with the explosion and the bomb going off and the crowbar being there. And Jason Todd saying, I'm not a kid anymore. This doesn't define me, and grabbing the bar and beating the crap out of Joker. But I did not like the recreation of the scene of Batman walking out with Jason Todd, Death in the Family, the iconic page. But now it's Jason Todd holding Joker. I thought that was stupid.
It was cringe. Yeah. And even then, you even start out, but this is the thing, if you're a Jason Todd fan, I'm not going to talk for every Jason Todd fan, but the idea, you desperately want him to get over this. You want everybody to. But even in this, even when he's going to, he doesn't. And then he says he does, but then he decides to be Robin, and he's going to take it to the streets and take it back and whatnot. But all this ends up being is a lot of exposition about, that's me, and I did this, and he defined me, and I picked the red, and it just ends up feeling just the same old. And it just kind of didn't really hit with me. I thought it was going to be something a bit different. I thought they were going to play it up a bit different, where I'm like, holy crap, look at Jason, he's doing this or what. But no, I wish that Joker possibly could have been the form of Jason's mother. That would have been hilarious. But, Joker has the crowbar, and he takes the crowbar back. It just is the same old of this. And then him bitching and moaning in his mind about the other Robins, or what's my place, and Batman. I just, by the end, I had enough.
It's very repetitive. We've been, what was that? Batman 3 Jokers was all about this.
Yeah.
They just replayed the Death in the Family if he lived. Yeah. It's all about this.
It's all you do. And
it's the same story.
And you say repetitive, it even felt repetitive in the issue. By the end, I checked the page count a bunch of times. And for something like this, it should be balls to the wall craziness. And oh my God, this is great. And this is cool. And I was just like, when are we done? I get what it is. I could have just told you what was going to happen. And I think that we would have guessed pretty easily what ended up. And then at the end, you didn't even have, even then, you have this KO moment, but not even a KO. And Jason gets up and he's like, I'm going to get out of here. And then Joker that's what he brought. He brought a defibrillator. I'm like, what saved him from that knife? All those other things as well. But then where's the idea of the rule? These rules are non-existent, and it just ends up getting
pretty frustrating.
Yeah. And these are the guys making the event. And they almost, if you had me read it and said, do you think they knew the rules? And I don't know, but they do. They're writing it. And just felt weird. Just felt by the end that all these were supposed to be more exciting for this month of things.
In the final fight, Joker becomes the Red Hood, like with the pill capsule head, and Jason Todd becomes an older, more experienced version of Red Hood in the future.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, and after he defeats him and he's not dead quite yet, he pulls the helmet off and sees Joker's real face and thinks nothing of it. Doesn't think it's interesting or anything. No. Which I think is supposed to be symbolic of him being over it, but I don't know. You just spent an entire fucking comic book talking about it. It's clearly like you're not over it.
Plus, he sees the Joker's face. What did he seem like? It's just the Joker's face. It's like not that exciting. Yeah, and then he seems like he's still, like you said, and it just ends up where Jason just can't get over it. And the writers, and they almost play the idea like, wink, wink, the writers won't get over it either, but they don't. And then it just ends. I was glad
Jason Todd won.
Yeah, I was actually
that they would just let the Joker win. So I was happy that they did that, but I think there was probably a better way to do it. And then you got the Booster Gold as Darkseid, and he's got the Time Trappers like, look at this. And he's seeing that the entire world has become Apocalypse.
Yep. And this is the other thing about this event. Besides Titans has that, but even Titans, hey, get in this rocket ship that was the Titans Tower. There's no real feel to me that, oh my God, the people of Earth. And when Earth turns into Apocalypse, I really legit at the end say, why should you care? Because number one, if things don't end up where they're reverted, then there's no DC universe. You know what I mean? Like, we know that they're going to do something to save. The real question is,
there are no real stakes.
No, the only stakes that you would have would be, okay, who might not come back? Whoever wins,
they've already told us
back everybody. And and then you even see in the solicits that came out, not much seems to change. So there's no stakes. So I need this to be more fun. Scott Snyder said, oh, it's going to be all dumb fun. I'm waiting for the fun because most of it's been dumb to me, but it just doesn't feel like it's that exciting. And I have a lot of people who have talked to me that have said they're just, I am checking out with this, and that's not good. Because if you're checking out for months and months and months, sometimes you don't come back. And there's a couple of people who really went to me. Edward Hawa, one of the guys, said that he's just not liking any of this. And so he's really struggling to read stuff. And I have a lot of people tell me that, and that's not good. And we'll see. But I just don't see how anybody could love this. It's just not that great.
Love the Aquaman issue with the Hawkman battle, but that's about it.
Yeah, that was the best one so far, and Jeremy.
Well, that's the best one. That's it.
Jeremy Adams did the thing that he did in the Night Terrors with Hal Jordan. In that, he just said, "I'm going to make my character badass," and that's what he did, and that's what you need. You need to come out of these two. Like, you don't come out of this one saying, "Oh my God, Jason did it finally. He did it. He evolved. Oh my God." No, you just end up, and even that in the last deal where Joker's defibrillate, you're like, "Oh, that stinks." Like, it just doesn't feel, and have him carrying him out like he was carried up. I bet it's like at the end, you're just rolling your eyes instead of getting pumped up. And even then, I'm like, Jason, you're in big trouble going forward. There's no way you're beating anybody who's left, but that's cool. I mean, I think that this was hey, we'll give Jason fans a little, solid here, but I don't feel like it was the way that they portrayed him. But
I give that one a mid.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a mid. I'm not going to go nod. It was good enough to be a mid, but I didn't love it. I thought this was going to be the big one. You have Snyder and Williamson writing it. It's Joker, Jason. Oh my. And I thought it kind of thudded.
Then we had Flash was another one. I haven't been reading Flash because it's Mark Waid and Christopher can't write well. I think Vasco Gorgiev is the artist on this one. I didn't read the book, but I did flip through it just to see who won. And it turns out Guy Gardner defeats Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
Basically, he pins him against a wall and then shoots him with like a Green Lantern rocket launcher thingy.
Yeah. And He was in his warrior form, which is kind of cool. If you're a Guy Gardner
That was
fan.
cool. Yes.
Yeah, I love Guy Gardner Warrior. I actually keep waiting for them.
He's regular guy, then he's Red Lantern guy, and then warrior guy.
Yep, and those are all cool. And that's the concept too. When you go through these and you change your forms, obviously it's going to be cool if you have a bunch of forms. But again, what we just talked about, Joker and Red Hood, they just have, Robin, Red Hood, and Joker. It's just more costume changes for the Joker, so it doesn't work. I like when you have, even though he lost, when you had the Horus infused, Hawkman was awesome. So those are the cool plays. This was okay. It wasn't great, but
yeah. I just know who won. Like I said, I was paging through it. I did see it was Warrior, and then he'd become the Red Lantern version of Guy. So that was cool. Yep. The final battle is not Superman, but it's in Superman. It's Lex Luthor versus Etrigan the Demon, which seemed like a really odd fight. And I think it played out that way. This is Josh Williamson and Hayden Sherman. Yeah. And while I appreciate Hayden Sherman, and I think what he's doing in Absolute Wonder Woman is pretty darn good, and what he did in Batman Dark Patterns was excellent, he is not the artist for a book like this. What needs super sized frenetic action and amazing visual storytelling that sells a fight. This plays against every strength that he has as an artist, and I think it looks really bad. I felt terrible for him.
Yeah, it's not his cup of tea. I actually have been liking his art more and more, and Absolute Wonder Woman and things like that. But this was not his thing. But he got a shot at it. But again, it's an odd fight. It's just weird. So
Etrigan takes out Lex Luthor with Hellfire, like he's Scorpion.
Yeah.
And then Lex comes back. This thing gets so weird. He comes back as like Lex Luthor's Superman, but then he calls upon like a legion of Mr. Miracle robots.
Yeah. That's what he does.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Dylan. He'll explain it to us. Maybe it's some, crazy deal, but I didn't get it. Yeah.
And then by the end, who you expect to win wins. It's Lex Luthor.
Yeah. That would have been, if they would have had Etrigan win, now that would have been crazy. That would have been
you can't get your Superman Lex Luthor fight.
I know. And even the cover. These covers I haven't loved, but the
Jorge Corona cover?
Yeah, look at Etrigan. He looks like he needs a sandwich or something. The art in it, though, there's parts. It's weird when you go into it. Some of the some of the backgrounds and things are pretty cool. Like the first page, I'm like, oh, this will be cool. Once you got in and you saw the characters and everything falls apart. Lex looks terrible, and the faces are very odd. They don't look great. I'm going through it again. I'm like, not great.
Yeah. And then the good thing is Etrigan doesn't say a word in the first fight, so you don't get the rhyming.
Yeah, the rhyming.
Then he rhymes in the second fight, but in the third one, he says he picked a version of him that doesn't like rhyming either. But then it's not really even about him. The entire book is about Lex Luthor and how he feels about Superman and all the stuff that he did with LexCorp and stuff like that. And then by the end, because he's one with himself, and he turns himself into Etrigan the Demon because of all the tattoos or whatever things that he had.
Yeah.
Pretty stupid.
Yeah. I forgot to mention even in the Flash at the beginning, we had kind of shades of Ten of Swords where they were playing checkers.
Yeah.
One of the deal. I forgot to mention that, and this whole thing where people are these writers are trying to do something that's comical or whatnot, but I'm telling you, these fights aren't as good as they could or should be. This one, I said it'd be neat if Etrigan won. He's not going to win. So when you read through this, you just like, let's get the end. And a lot of them kind of end up that way. Like you said about Flash, you said you're not really reading Mark Waid, so you went through just to see who won. I am reading Mark Waid, and I went through it just to see who won. You end up with a lot of these where, you get it.
It was in question, though, Guy Gardner versus Jay Garrick, because neither of them were going to be in the finals. It could have been either one of them.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was glad. I love Guy Gardner, so it was cool. But you're right. like I said, I don't think Jason Todd will be in the finals either. So when you get it, you're just like, whatever. But some of these just end up where you read most of them, you read the first round, and then you just get a play of, okay, it's going to be like this. And then none of them have been really gripping.
Zatanna, Jason Todd, I'm assuming Zatanna moves through. It's Wonder Woman, Cyborg. That's got to be Wonder Woman. It's Superman, Aquaman. Should be Superman, and then Lex Luthor, and it's Superman, Guy Gardner.
Okay, yeah,
that should be Superman. And then it's Aquaman versus Lex, right?
Yeah, and
this is off the top of my head. I'm not.
I think it might be. I
think that's it. Though
they don't even have the brackets anymore. I don't think, but when you get the things, I do think that Aquaman's going to show that he's got a little bit of a, that infused dark side Omega energy plus him. Remember, he's been struggling with the idea that he can't control the blue as much, that he seems to be going a little over the top. I think that they're going to try to play him as almost like, oh my God, Lex needs to win this because Aquaman's lost his mind. But that will be weird. But I'm telling you, if it's not Lex versus Superman, I'll be shocked, but we'll see. We'll see. And then you have the wild cards because you end up having Joker seems to maybe come back, and then you have Darkseid in the wing. We'll see. I think at the end, it's all going to be set up and then everything's going to fall apart just to have Darkseid fight Superman before they're supposed to, and then see what that entails. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Also, there's a continuation of the Superboy Prime, Lois Lane, Sunboy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they've made a robot version of Superman to deliver a message.
Yep. Yeah, they had that. They wanted to do that and send the message that, hey, about the time trapper Doomsday, and he's a what? It's all that, but we'll see.
I'll give that one a mid.
Yeah, I'll give it a mid as well.
And then I read Green Lantern from Jeremy Adams. Why am I feeling like it's a new artist? Was it who's the artist on this one?
It is Giandomenico.
Yeah, Carmine Giandomenico. I knew it was a different artist.
Yep.
But this continues this story where Hal Jordan has opened the book of Oa. He's got all these weird feelings and he wants to figure out what's wrong with him. And last week he went out there with Green Arrow. And this week he decides to go and help out Batman. It starts out with Batman about to defeat some criminals. He throws a bat signal in the air calling for his help. Batman scans him, but in the meantime, a few things have happened and they have to go out there. And it looks like they're fighting some monsters or criminals and police officers. But then a big ass Joker emerges from the ocean shooting fire out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And they figure out that it's like a little kid that is really terrified. And he's like metahuman, obviously. And he's bringing these constructs to life. Obviously, something very similar to...
It's the same as very similar to the idea of oh my God, his chalk drawings are coming to light. Everybody's seen that. Jeremy Adams is actually good with some stories where he does... they're kind of cliche and tropey, but he ends up having fun with them. So you kind of get into it, and they're tried and true. The idea of a kid being scared, it's like a Twilight Zone type thing, but it's fine though. It sets it up pretty good.
Batman is having a heck of a time relating or helping this kid calm down and stop being scared, to keep creating all these boogeymen that he's imagining that are coming out in real life. Hal is able to step in there and really connect with him on a different level. Ends up creating a construct roller coaster throughout Gotham to show him that the city isn't quite as scary as people make it out to be, helping him down. Of course, at the end, Batman's like, don't worry, I'm going to have some doctors over here to help you out. I was like, that boy is getting to prison.
He is.
And he's being studied.
He's off to Arkham. He's going to Arkham, and they're going to be doing some experiments on him. I would not. I would probably have said, hey, Hal, can you maybe take him to O or something? You might be up doctors there, because that'd be pretty cool. Maybe Coast City, because here there's trouble.
The Wayne Foundation's going to be doing weird stuff with this guy.
Well, again, Batman is classic with, we'll get you help, and then you never see these people again. You're like, I don't know what kind of help he got, but it might be a lobotomy. But yeah, this kid's in trouble. He's in big trouble. But it was okay.
I like when they first meet up and he first kind of starts talking to Batman. He's trying to make small talk. He's like, "So, found any new Robins lately?" I was like, "That's pretty good."
Yeah, that's good. I did see some people, and I agree somewhat. You do have that trope of, Batman, but they don't like each other that much, and Batman gets mad about how
Batman treated him like shit when he redeemed himself and came back.
Yeah.
And again, he still doesn't trust him. Screw that.
That's why it's pretty funny. That's why I think that this ends up being funny, because it ends up being Hal kind of doing the right thing, and Batman is the one who's so sus here. But in the meantime, they seem to get over it a bit. And you said to me before, like, you don't want that. You need the beef. But
I would prefer that they let bygones be bygones, but still have that chip on each other.
Yeah, shoulders. I just wanted to let you know, I believe that the next writer will just have them have the beef again anyway. But it is bullshit at this point. It really does play out the idea that Hal should just go through a list of the people that like villains that Batman has said they're redeemed, even in things going on right now with the ventriloquist, even where he ends up like, no, they're redeemed, but yet Hal is the one who he can't trust, and it's ridiculous.
One little mistake with Parallax, and I'm just
one little Parallax mistake, that's it. But yet Batman, all the shit that he has done and gone through, and he just cannot get over that.
He was a goddamn drug addict. He's sitting there trying to judge Hal Jordan. Get out of here, man.
Exactly. I'm telling you, even the idea.
You shoot some more venom while you're at it.
He's like, man, you were Parallax. You killed a bunch of people. What did your son Damien do? What's going on with him? Like, what's Cassandra Cain? Like, he's surrounded by people who have murdered people over and over again. And done
Jason Todd's walking around.
Jason Todd, yeah. At least he ends up well. He's always pissed off at Jason. Jason really should bring up Damien a lot because it's bullshit. But in the meantime, come on, in this world and the things that they go through, and he cannot get over that. It's nonsense. Hal should be he should just punch Batman right in the face. But in the meantime, you end up and you have some
Batman's stuff next. System detects that there's some type of like tachyon anomaly or something to do with time, but he can't really pinpoint it down. That he should further research it. And by the end, or I guess the last panel was like Barry Allen screaming for help. Yeah, so he's going to be with Barry Allen next. And I love Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Barry Allen getting together. So
yeah, and it looks like they're playing the idea now, even though there's the thing, because Barry shouldn't have his powers right now, but we'll see how that plays. Maybe he'll get him back. Maybe he'll get him actually back in this book, which would be crazy, but I'd like that. But yeah, we'll have to see. And yeah, I love Barry and Hal together. But I actually like Batman and Hal together because of their, bickering and things like that. And just the idea that it does show all the time. And I love when books show that
Batman being a fucking know-it-all and then Hal Jordan pointing out that he's wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I love when they show that Batman is an asshole. Because he is. We all love him. He's the great whatever. But he is an asshole. And a lot of times they try to do. But what usually happens, it's like Guy Gardner. The best Guy Gardner is that he is a complete asshole, but by the end you realize that's just kind of the way he is. He's trying to hide something, and he ends up being a hero at the end, and that's kind of what they do. So I always do like that. So I will actually give this a hot. I was almost at a mid before, but talking about it, I'll go hot.
I'll definitely give that one a hot. We got anything else?
Dead. That kid is that poor kid
studied for years.
Hal said that they're doing construct roller coasters, and then Hal took him, and that kid is done.
We'll have a doctor check on you tomorrow.
Quote unquote doctor. Good. Doctor killed patient.
My people will be checking on you.
Exactly. But yeah, you read anything else?
Yeah, I read Absolute Wonder Woman from Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. And now this is supposed to be a big book. This is the first in continuity canonical meeting between Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yep.
I think giving Kelly Thompson the pen for this one was probably a bad idea.
Yeah. I liked it enough in a way, but it didn't feel as big as it should have. It ended up feeling like a lot of exposition dumps. and weird play that went on. And did you think, because we've been reading Absolute Wonder Woman and liking it, throughout the whole deal.
One of my better series of the year.
Suddenly the dialogue ends up being so much more Kelly Thompson than it had been. And it's almost that Bendis type sing-song back and forth. I legit, at points when I was reading it, I see who's talking, but it felt like some of the bubbles were switched. Like the Batman's like, hey, why are you here? Oh, I'm here for these murder. But then Batman had to show her where some of the things got really convoluted. And Batman, I like seeing a little softer side of Absolute Batman, but it becomes too quick. Like suddenly he's like, she's a friend. And then you get this play here where it's cool. She gives a talisman. Hey, if you need me, call me. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That'll set up some things. Oh, it sets up things 2 pages later. I'm like, boy, things were rushed and it didn't feel big enough. It felt like an exposition dump. They're in the slaughter swamp. I thought we were going to get a bit of absolute Solomon Grundy. Thought that would have been cool. But then it's just like, oh, magic is this. And Batman's like, really? That's what it is? And then he kind of dupes it up. He ends up tripping into it was nonsense.
We'll get to that.
He did kind of, and then they grabbed him.
Another dude did some magic.
Oh, I saw. He was still running into that circle, and she goes, don't do that. I'm like, boy, Batman, you are an idiot. But
the problem with the issue, and I've noticed this in Absolute Wonder Woman, but it hasn't been a major issue, is that when Kelly Thompson's dialogue and exposition has to carry the story to really inform the reader rather than the actions of the characters and what's happening, it falls flat.
It's
and
clunky.
That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
It's just them walking through the swamp for 5 or 6 pages talking about magic.
Yeah.
And her calling Batman the world's greatest detective, he is not a detective in this universe.
No, he's
Why
not.
would you ever call him that?
And she wouldn't think that. There's no way. And, she says later, hey, I got this jump drive that has info on you. But the info would be info, not he's the greatest, because he's not the world's greatest
detective. He's not a detective. Here. He's an engineer.
No. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And again, it feels like the idea where some of the books, we said it, Wonder Woman didn't feel like it was very connected to a universe that Batman was in or Superman or whatever. And you see the problem with it when they get together, because they're not. And so when she says, oh, you're the world's greatest detective, I came to you, that makes no sense. You are fudging it to just get the trope of it. And it doesn't make, and also Batman doesn't seem to know crap about crap in this. Like the idea that if he was the world's greatest and he prepares, it's not that Batman. So he doesn't even know what magic is. He really is confused by some things. As I said later, I say he trips in, he does get grabbed, but he's running towards a magic circle and she has to say, don't do it. And then it's too late. He's too close.
Didn't you love the part where she's telling you, this can't be a real whatever seance because it doesn't have the right amount of candles?
Here's my impersonation of it. Listen, this can't really be a real Hecate seance deal because there has to be 3 candles because she's a division of 3 and she's the 3 god and whatever. And then Batman at the end goes, so there's not 3 candles. She goes through a whole explanation and then it goes, so there's not 3 candles. And then all right. Even then, it's supposed to be the play that people would be, doing this, but they know it's a trap. It's obviously, and they just go right into it. They go right into it. It's
and she's like, did he have his liver removed? How about his bunghole? Was he using his corneas?
Where's the
I
balloon
think he
now?
must be doing this. They're trying to make a golem.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when she's at the one play. Oh, they did this. And I don't know. It just like you said, when she has to explain things, it does fall apart because it gets very clunky. I do like a couple little things in it. I like them kind of being friendly, whatnot, but it's too quick. It was on.
They go up to this thing. They finally find him, and there's like a clay thing with the body parts on it. Yeah. And she's like, don't go into the thing. And then one of the dudes that's supposedly in a trance uses some like little purple magic to make Batman fall in there. And she's like, well, we're stuck in here. And then she realizes that she's the golem that they're going to control. Mm-hmm. And so she removes her arm and then starts attacking Batman. And then Batman uses the talisman to bring back the real one because he can call her at any time. And then they go back in there, and then he realizes it's been rigged with explosives, and they jump out in time. I was like, why didn't you blow them up when they were both in there?
Yeah. They go in.
Why didn't you just have them distracted by this thing, and you would have killed them both?
Here's my play of this. I said when we reviewed, this plan has 80 steps to get to one step. Like, you didn't need to do all this. You had no reason to do all these things. And the idea that Veronica K.O. came up with a plan and would actually think that this would work, it does because it's written that way. But the idea, well, we're going to be very ambiguous about these candles and do this and get that and go there. Hope the Batman's there. And none of it makes sense. And you could have just blown them up. You could have. And even then, when they go in the circle, Batman goes, let's get out of here. And she's like, we can't now. But then when they start fighting, Wonder Woman's like beating Batman out of the circle, because then that doesn't matter. Then the idea that she's this, golem being controlled, kind of, I guess, by Veronica K.O. But then Batman's going to, it plays off what they usually do. And I think there's a lot of things that get lost in the translation of this. To me, it played out that Wonder Woman, a lot of times, somebody will be possessed and she'll put the lasso around them and say, now your true self. And then they'll be able to break out of this possession because their true self. But I think
she doesn't have it.
Yeah. And so I think they're trying to play that out with that whole, this talisman thing with Batman, but you just got it 2 pages ago. The best was, I think it was, what was her name? Shay something, that did a little bit of Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman was going around and like, oh, you have cancer? Well, here, I'm going to put my lasso around you and your true self does it. I'm like, I don't think it works that way. But then Batman's getting the crap beat out of her. I wanted Batman to say, you're not so sexy without that arm. He doesn't even mention the arm. Plus, at one point, he puts his axe right into her thigh. And it looks like
he's saying, I know this isn't the real you, Diana, as he's hacking her leg off. Yes.
Yeah. Hacking her leg off. And here's the thing, Batman. You've known this Wonder Woman for half a day? I know this isn't the real you. Like, really? Like, how would you know anything about her? In fact, if I was Batman at this point, I would have thought that this was all a dupe and that Wonder Woman led me into this. The way that this whole plays out, I swear to God, I would have thought, man, this Wonder Woman's stuff. But he's like, I know the real you. It's that, no, you don't. You have no idea. And just a little aside where you get Kelly Thompson, this is where you said it gets clunky. They get to this church or whatever it is, this clock tower deal. They're outside hiding behind trees and they discuss the idea. There might be traps. There might be traps. There might be bombs. Oh my God, traps. And then Wonder Woman goes, well, we'll just fly up there. And then you do. It's like, why even stop to do that? There's no reason to say, and she does this weird shit. And the idea then that all this magical shit that can control Wonder Woman, to then get to a part where you just have a bomb that then and all it is, it's to even it up. Batman got into the circle, whether it was his fault or not. Now Wonder Woman doesn't really know things about, tripwires. And so then Batman has to save her. And I'm like, really? Like, you have a bomb, but that seems very, like you said, you could have just blown him up. But also that seems very, not very big when you're also controlling these crazy witches and warlocks and things like that. And then you just set a tripwire bomb. Just doesn't feel like anything really made much of an impact. And it just feels like odd. And then at the end, I was like, okay, well, that was crazy. I guess we'll have to wait. Oh, Wonder Woman's going to be in Absolute Batman number 16 the next day. I'm like, that's a weird way to play it. Like, I hope that's a little bigger, but it just felt odd. And I agree.
Well, also, you forgot, she mentions there's a Superman out there. We should be friends with him, too.
Also, as a shade to Martian Manhunter, a Green Lantern book, and The Flash, she says there's a Superman and some others. She doesn't even mention them. It's like if anybody is a fan of Gilligan's Island, when it first came out, they didn't even say the Professor of Marianne. They said, and the others or something. And that's all it was. It's like, there's other people too. But yeah, they'll get the Superman. And I hope it's better when they meet. But it's odd. I want them to say, what the hell happened to your arm? I swear to God, at the end. And then it starts snowing. And then I don't know about you, but
she
it got
thinks
hokey.
that might be magic.
Yeah, she's like, it must be magic.
And then this is what Bruce says. He goes, "No, it's science. No, it's weather.
Yeah, it's
weather
weather.
is not science. Weather is a natural phenomenon. Let's go."
And then Wonder Woman has phantom limb syndrome. It looks like she's waving goodbye with her stump. See you later, Batman. And then Batman goes, "Happy holidays, Diana." I wanted Diana to come and go, "What religion do you think I follow with these holidays? Like, what are you talking about?" Even earlier when they go back and forth. "Oh, you're from hell." "Well, I'm from the underworld." That's great. Like, you just had those moments where it was just like this weird exposition. I didn't hate this. I thought it was okay. The problem I had was, could have been so much better. It should have been, it should have been the book, like one of the single issues of the year for how much, people have been enjoying both the Wonder Woman and the Absolute Batman book. And it did not come out that way. It really felt like a big lost opportunity. And now you can't get it back because now they've met. But like you said, the little things of, you're the world's greatest detective. And then there are some neat things too, where Batman's pissed and she's like, "Hey, I'm Diana." And he goes, "Oh, hey, I'm Batman," because he won't give the name up. And then says, "Hey, I saw you on TV, you idiot." Like, you can't do that. You can't just come out in the open and give your name and all that. She's like, "Well, can't pack that back up. How about you?" And he's like, "Nah." And then at the end, she has this drive. "Hey, here you go, Batman. Here's this jump drive with everybody's info, and it's info of you." And he says, "So you know my name?" And she says, "Well, I do, but I'm not going to say it because it's for you to tell me." It was okay. It was that magic type thing of knowing names. But the funny thing is, Batman does not tell her then. He says, "You tell me." And she goes, "Okay, Bruce." But it just felt weird. And that Happy Holidays just felt odd just to get it to have a Christmas issue. It was weird. She's waving with that stump, too. That would weird me out. Get that arm back. That's what he should say. But I'm mid.
I'm giving it a nod. I did not like it.
I'm giving it a mid. I'm going to give it a mid just because there were a couple things I liked, but I do think it was a misplay. I think that maybe, and obviously we haven't read the Batman deal. I'm thinking it might be a little like, you should have made this bigger. You should have made it bigger and not just, hey, they're there. It really did feel like a side adventure after they've known each other for 2 years. That's what it felt like. And it just didn't play out as well in my mind. Saw reviews. They're out the wazoo. Everybody loves it, but that's what we get, nowadays. So, anything else?
So, I had been reading Absolute Superman, but after the last issue, I was like, I'm just not going to come back again. Mm-hmm. I've heard it's all right. I think Gabe said it was a big improvement this week.
Really?
But I haven't been reading Martian Manhunter either. So,
no.
The last book I did read was Harley and Ivy: Life and Crimes from Eric Henderson. Yeah. It was a weird week. It was that or a fucking absolute Martian Manhunter.
I'm telling you, there was also Green Arrow, but you got the Harley? Crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to see what was going on here. Erica Henderson has a reputation. And I think she lives up to it. The art is not
great.
Something that should be produced in a DC weekly or monthly book. Certainly not something that's being sold in a place that goes to adults. It's art for 5-year-olds.
You could stop it sold.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be on sale. That's what it should do.
But it's weird. It's just Harley and Ivy arguing over whether or not Harley's over Joker and she really wants to leave him this time. Mm-hmm. And if she really wants to, what are they going to do about it? And Ivy not wanting to trust Harley the whole time and calling her out for being such a screw up. And Harley apologizing, and then them not trusting each other until the end. There's literally nothing that comes. Like, this is some type of prequel story. It must have happened like a long time ago.
Yeah, and the worst with the prequel story is you just go back to the same tropes that we get in every story with Harley. So, yeah. I read the first issue.
Kind of flirting with each other.
I didn't read this second issue, but I'm going through it. I'm like, yeah, kind of the same deal. And I have said, while you tell everybody that I'm a Caitlin Yarsky fan.
You are a Caitlin Yarsky mark, dude.
And I'm not going to say I'm a Erica Henderson fan. I'm a Harley fan. I am. And a lot of people make fun of me about it. The problem is there's a lot of characters that have the same problem. It's like me saying I'm a Star Wars fan. I like less than I hate now. And that's the same with Harley. And I have said it how long ago was it when Punchline showed up? I said then Harley needs to go away for a year or two. She needs to not be in any books. And then when you get to the point where people are like, man, I kind of miss Harley, which may never happen because they've really oversaturated it. You got to get a point where you need to have we'll put a Harley book that means something. Even that Elliot Kaplan regular run of Harley is horrible. It's downright unreadable. And that's the problem. And in this, it's the same thing. It's weird to say, but I've said it all along. Like when they write Harley, they make her not a character. She's a caricature. That's my fancy deal. But also the idea she's a baby-brained
imbecile.
They over Harley her. They only get the one side of her. And that's the reason why Harley is cool, is because, and don't give me the idea that she slept through the deal, because you brought that up last week. But the idea too,
that's
though,
it
is. But the idea, though, when you develop her, I'll admit, I think that the last person who did any good was Stephanie Phillips. And that she ended up going off
for
the
what,
rails.
one issue?
It was a couple. When it first started, I really liked it. People remember Kevin, the guy with the Joker tattoo.
He had the big neck thing.
Yeah, he had the big neck Joker
diaper
tattoo.
neck.
Yeah,
diaper neck's an ultimate.
Yeah, diaper neck is an ultimate now. Diaper neck is.
He had a nutsack neck. That's right.
Yeah, he did. And that character actually became really good, because what you need in a Harley book is a regular character that can ground her a bit and play off of that. When she's just batshit crazy, which she is in everything, it gets annoying. It gets annoying within 2 seconds. And that's what I got from the first issue of this. That's what I got from the Teenie Howard bullcrap. And that's what I get from Elliot Kaplan, all of those. And that's how at the end of the Stephanie Phillips run. And so again, I probably read more Harley than anybody listening. I'm not that proud of it. But I really miss having a Harley that, is funny, but also, does some things. And if anybody did want to read something cool, when Palmiotti and Connor ended up doing it, there's a mini series, but don't read that. There is, in their run, there is an arc where Power Girl shows up, and Harley convinces Power Girl has amnesia, and she convinces them that they're a superhero team. It's one of the best things I've read with Harley. It's really good. And also, I think, what is it? Not Sean Hill, it might be. But Sean Ryan maybe did a all new Suicide Squad that was good with Harley too. So there you go. Little tip for people. Just the tip. I just give the tip. But yeah, Harley can be written good. I also think she's better on a team book like a Suicide Squad. But this is just the same garbage. They just keep throwing it out. It always feels like the cartoon. The cartoon was its own thing. You don't have to do everything like it, but this looks like garbage.
Reads like garbage as well. I'll give it a nod.
Yeah. Oh.
Wrapping up the DC, we both agree Green Lantern's a hot. But apparently I was just very negative, and I said absolute Wonder Woman and Harley and Ivy, Life and Crimes were not.
Yeah, I didn't even say, but I think Absolute Wonder Woman is kind of that mid. Sometimes we'll go with low, mid, and whatnot. I still liked it. It just could have been so much better. It was a disappointment, though.
Moving over to the indie comic books, we had the Gray Lady #1, a Gargoyles Winter Special #1, a TMNT Battle Nexus #1, and new issues of American Capes, Final Boss, Hornsby and Halo, No Man's Land, Skinbreaker, Spawn, The Rockefellers, Void Rivals, Thundercats, Sonic, and TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures. So I wasn't able to read Final Boss or Skinbreaker yet, which I definitely will read. And probably Capes as well, but I haven't been able to get to those. But I did read TMNT Battle Nexus #1 from Tom Waltz and the Escorza brothers, which is the creative team behind TMNT The Last Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
And the art is very, very good. There's one issue though. When it opens up, it's got a picture of the entire or all the brothers, and they're getting ready to fight the Rocksteady and Bebop. And Raph has wraps on his hands. And when you look at his hands, there's like a blade coming out of the wraps. Like he has wrapped his blade size underneath, or like in the wraps itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you see him later, he's holding them like he's holding him in his hand. Where
you say later, a panel later.
Yes.
Yeah, it's odd because he looks like Wolverine a bit at first.
It threw me off for a while. I was like, what is going on here? And obviously they made a mistake with the art, but the art otherwise looks very, very good. It starts out with some just kind of silly Rocksteady and Bebop battle just to give you some action in the book, because once you actually get to the Battle Nexus stuff, it's not really present there. But they're fighting because I guess the brothers were in the vicinity of Rocksteady and Bebop, who were shaking down a hot dog vendor or something on the streets. And there's a lot of smack talk and whatnot, and then they get sucked into the Battle Nexus to be the main event of some big battles. And then the guy who's in charge of that gives a big speech and explains how he's back and how the rules have changed and how he's gotten rid of some of the issues that have caused him not to defeat the Turtles in Battle Nexus before unveiling that really big ass snapping turtle that I believe was dead. I don't remember his name.
At first, when they come in, you end up, it's Romeo Sombrero. And he's like, you idiots, I'm Savante Romero. He gets it made me giggle, though. And I kind of went into this very, cold. I did read it because I again, there weren't a lot of great books. So I read it and I'm like, I kind of like this. It's kind of cool. The art's really good, though.
The art is very good, except for that one mistake.
Yeah, that was a little off, but yeah.
But you noticed it too, right?
Oh, yeah, because it's not... Here's the thing. I normally wouldn't have, but it's so pronounced the first time you see it that it... Like I said, I'm like, what the heck? It looks like Wolverine. Oh, it was a mistake. It's just a size. So, yeah, I noticed it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then... so they bring out the big-ass snapping turtle dude, and then it's time for, I think, Leonardo to fight him, and then it turns into, like, Mirage-era Shredder, but he's in black and white.
Yeah, it's cool because it is the Mirage black and white deal, so it looks really, really cool. And then you see even the next issue looks cool, but I thought it was pretty neat. I actually thought it was pretty cool. So I was glad that I read it. I didn't even know about it. And then I was going through everything that came out, ended up, which I'm sure we'll do next, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures. But in the meantime, I saw, what's this? And I thought it was going to be something like wacky. No, I think that people should check it out. It's pretty cool.
Might be too many fighting tournament story arcs going on right now with what we've consumed with DC. But they shouldn't have to change their plans with what DC's doing. But for what it is, it's a good time. I don't know that I specifically give it a hot, but it was pretty close.
I'm going to go high mid.
Yeah.
But
it's all the version.
Yeah,
the art's really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's a setup issue.
And seeing that, Shredder Mirage black and white deal looks really cool. Even as like the dots, the Ben-Day dots and things looks really cool. So I'll probably keep reading it. I don't read many indie books anymore, and I want to. So I'll probably stick with this. Check it out.
Dude, you should be reading way more indies. That's where it's at.
I know.
Conan,
I've run out of time. Conan, every time I read it, it's great. It's just I'm not even up to date on like Rook, Exodus, which I really like.
Space Ghost, you should be reading G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe I did jump back into, but there's a bunch of other stuff. We talked about it. The just the regular G.I. Joe, not the great what's it called?
Real American Hero?
Larry Hama one, but the regular one. It was good. Yeah. But I think I'm a issue behind again. I just always
because it's coming out every 2 weeks right now.
Yeah, and so I fall behind, and then it seems like a daunting task to catch up, but I'll read some things. What's next?
Well, TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures. That's Eric Burnham writing with Dan Schoenfeld on art.
Schoening,
my bad.
Schoening, yep.
I'm a big fan of Dan. I'm sorry I got your name a little wrong, but it is very, very late after Christmas. I did screw it up. Still wouldn't blame it myself. But this is 100% easily the best Christmas special that they did this year. It's it's Raphael and Casey Jones. And Casey Jones does not like Santa Claus. He thinks he's a liar. He thinks he's breaking and entering. So he's at the mall keeping an eye on Santa Claus because he doesn't pass the smell test. Raphael is being pretty playful and joking with, and then we see why Casey Jones doesn't like Santa Claus, because he didn't get like this toy that he wanted when he was a kid.
Yep.
Not surprisingly, somebody's in there trying to take out Santa Claus. It turns out his name is like Joe Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
And all these guys are dressed up like teddy bears, except for the main one who's got like a red bag. And then like they kick the bag off, and it turns out he's a mutant, but he wasn't always a mutant. And now he's like a big ram man. And they just fight to save Santa Claus.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need for a Christmas special.
And that's the thing. Like, it's weird to say about this book, oh, it feels like an episode of a cartoon, because that's what it is, right? But the other ones should do that as well. They should have that in mind every time. Like these other books that end up like the Marvel one this week, it ends up being bullcrap and it doesn't do anything. It's not fun. This book is always fun. So when you do it, it just feels like, a cool episode of a Saturday morning cartoon, which it's supposed to be, which I really wish the others would play that route as well. But yeah, this was the best one that I've read in probably, I'm telling you, it's weird because of what it is, but in years. Like, I don't think there's...
What about the Santa Silent Night book that DC did 2 years ago? The sequel sucked, but the first one wasn't too bad.
First one was okay. The second one was terrible. I remember we had to do that on our Patreon. That was like the book of the month, just because of what it was. It was awful. That at least had that feel. The first one had that feel, like they were trying to do something like that, but it kind of fell apart. But this is really good. Also, that was like a 5-issue deal. You only need one issue. And just have fun with it. Get some characters, have a way to tie it into Santa, which you do here, and then they have fun and things are resolved at the end. It's great. I liked it.
Yeah, I give it a hot.
Yeah, and at the end you see Casey there with the teddy bear, his little Teddy Ruxpin.
He finally got it.
Yeah, and he got it, and he's all happy. He's so happy about it, and it's nice. And they're like.
It turns out the brothers are the ones that did it.
Yeah, they did it, and they're all happy with each other, and then they go off, and it's like, that's really nice. It was a nice ending to it. It was really cool. So yeah, this book it's one of those where, at the end of the year, when you have your end of year list, I think that some people will forget about it because it's just that fun little read but it is one of the better books that comes out each time it does. It's really good.
Now, I also read The Rockefellers from Peter J. Tomasi and Francis Manupal. Yeah, I'm still waiting for this book to really hit. And I still don't know that it has, but you've got the family on the run, and I thought for some reason the last issue they ended up going back in time, but they didn't. They just ended up in Arizona, and they're waiting for old man Rockefeller's sister Raina to arrive. And when she does, the entire family's trying to run after Richie. I think that's the boy's name.
The boy
got pissed off because they ruined all of his stuff, and he decides he's leaving them. And he walks off with all his parts. But the little girl, Ray, goes up and she's like, we don't have to walk away from Aunt Raina. She doesn't want to hurt us. And then you can see she's got some type of split personality. Like, one half of her wants to make amends and be part of the family. The other half wants to hurt him. And it looks like she's going to be going with the good side. Ray is kind of, because she's just a cute little girl, really cute character.
Yeah,
is maybe chilled the relationship, and they're going to be able to fix it until Richie shows up because he's fixed his mech suit and like just knocks the piss out of her and like punches her like a half a mile away. They're like, oh shit, we better run.
Yeah, then they have to run. Yeah. I'm behind. I'm looking at it now. It looks cool.
And they find out that somebody's jamming the temporal something to where they can't time jump and everything, and that's basically what the book is.
So the next issue comes out in February, it says, and it's a Christmas issue because they're going to use time travel. It's very odd. So I'm looking at the cover for next. I'm behind like 5 issues. I ended up where even some of the things in this, and as you're talking about page through, been dealing with for a bunch of issues, and I don't know. I think
that's kind of why I like Rook Exodus. We've been through a couple of villains at this point. You go Red Shirt, you've probably gone through a dozen villains at this point.
Yeah, Redcoat's the best. I really like it. But Rook, I'm behind. I'm current on Redcoat, but I got behind on Geiger Only I also lose track of when they come out. But Hornsby and Halo or whatever the hell, you know.
Well,
Tango and
Image makes it
Cash.
difficult with the way that they do their review copies now. Anyway, they don't. They do not make it easy on you anymore.
No, so I lose track of them. And again, that's like I said about G.I. Joe. I lose track of some things, and then I'm 3 issues behind. Didn't even realize, and then some things I just don't catch up on, and this is one of them because I really like the characters. I like the girl, Rain. I like her a lot, but by the end, I just didn't care. It really wasn't doing much for me, so I haven't been reading it.
Yeah, I think if you've enjoyed Rockefellers at this point, you're going to enjoy this issue. If you're like me and you're just kind of waiting for something important to happen, I think you'll still be waiting. I'll call it a mid.
Yeah. Once you tell me something happens, I'll end up catching up or just reading from there. I don't know that I'll have missed that much, so we'll see.
We did see Glob Herman. He's the one that's working with Raina to disrupt their ability to time jump.
Yep, the time jump deal.
Yep.
All right.
So we'll give that one a mid.
Yeah.
So wrapping up the indie bucks, we both give TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures a hot.
Yep.
And keep an eye on TMNT Battle Nexus.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I actually read some indie stuff this week. Not much, but there was also a Fire and Ice book that I ended up. I got that, and I was like, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna surprise Wes. I started reading. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it looked great.
It was written by Sarah Frazetta. So the granddaughter of Frank Frazetta, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. So it looked pretty neat, but I'm not in. I haven't read any of the Fire and Ice stuff, so I didn't know what was going on.
Well, very nice. Should we do some Dad Corner and wrap this special Christmas edition up?
Yeah, I think that it'll be more your Dad Corner. I think I already did mine at the beginning. So
what are you talking about?
Yours. I don't have anything else.
We got to talk about cowboy beans.
Well, I'll be doing those next. I actually got a message from Zach and asked if they were done. So at least he's looking forward.
Somebody's looking forward to it, dude.
He isn't, yeah. And then my wife, who actually is off doing like charity stuff or some nonsense, that she said that whatever they're doing is a cluster F, and she just wants to come home now. But that's
they need your management skills.
She's
Jim.
Just complaining is what she is. Well, what did you do? What is your Dad Corner?
So obviously it's Christmas week here, and I have recently been making some chicken burritos, chicken enchiladas and stuff like that. And my mother-in-law, we took some of the stuff that we had made over to her, and she thought it was pretty good. And my brother-in-law said that he wanted something different. He didn't want the same old that they get every year for Christmas, or at least Christmas Eve, because they do a big dinner on Christmas Eve, and then you eat the leftovers the next day, almost like Thanksgiving in America. So my beautiful wife volunteered me to make some tacos or whatever. So I was like, screw that. We're going to make a taco bar. So I did my chicken taco filling. I did beef taco filling. We did some homemade pico de gallo. I made some gringo sauce. We got a couple of different kinds of cheeses. Got the tortillas, put them on, not on the stove, but in the pan to get them all nice and good and everything. And it blew all their minds, dude. We made some refried beans, Mexican rice. And that's what we did. We had a taco dinner Christmas Eve. Both of the in-laws, like as far as the parents were happy. My brother-in-law was happy. My sister-in-law was happy. And I had to make a lot of food. And then they screwed up our order. We were supposed to be getting like some dynamites, which are kind of like jalapeno poppers.
Oh, dynamite.
Like jalapeno poppers.
Okay, yeah.
They call them dynamites here. And we were supposed to be getting those and some lumpia, which is like the traditional kind of not spring roll, but like an egg roll type thing that you get here in the Philippines. And they screwed that order up with our actual order for New Year's Eve. And they brought us like an entire like lechon belly, which is a roasted pig belly. It was probably like 7 pounds of extra meat and like a big old platter of noodles. Like, this wasn't supposed to come today. It was supposed to be like in a week. So we ended up with a ton of food, but everybody had a great time. One of our family traditions is we got the family like custom PJs with all of our names on it and stuff like that. And the boys woke me up pretty darn early. I think they got me up at 5:45 after I'd been working all night.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And then we open up all the presents. One of them got a bike, so he was very happy about that one. The other one got a DIY like watch thing that you put together. And one of them got a big ass dinosaur. It's crazy, I've been working on Christmas since June, and I start really early.
Yeah. I said it was crazy.
Money put aside every month, and I just start acquiring all the stuff. And you're like, I put like 7 months of work into this some bitch.
Yeah. I always worry. It's like buying younger kids expensive shoes, and then they're out of them in a day. I always am afraid that what they like in June, they ain't like in December, but it seems like it works.
They'll like what I say they like, Jim.
That's what
It's
happens.
the rule.
Iron Fist dad over there.
But so we put in all this work, and I've been hiding these things successfully for 6-7 months. Wrapping them on the down low. Presents are just showing up every now and again. They must have went through it 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Poof! All of a sudden, there's just like confetti
done.
of wrapping paper flying through the air, and all their presents are open.
You didn't get the classic that one of them's like enjoying the box more than the toy or something like that. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. That does happen.
Yeah. Two of them are still like that. I got a 4 and a 6-year-old, and they love them in box. I can tell you that.
And later they will, especially. But I don't get that fun. Never really did in our family. Didn't even have it growing up. Christmas wasn't really big in my house either. But I remember the one year my brother got a job. I was probably like, I don't know, 16. He was like 14 or something like that. I don't know. But he ended up where he bought his buddy like a crazy amount of stuff. And then he ended up getting me a hockey puck because I played hockey. And then he gave my dad this gift, this wrap gift. And my dad, and he goes, "This better not be chewing tobacco because I do not chew tobacco." It was chewing tobacco. My brother got my dad Red Man chewing tobacco. My dad's like, "What the thing?" Oh, my dad flipped out. Though the one year I ended up getting my dad from Spencer's Gifts, these Blastport underwear for people who fart a lot. He talked about that for years. He thought that was great. I got him. People made fun of me. I'm like, no, my dad will like this. Usually, though, I just get him a summer sausage and some cheese and stuff like that because the guy was like 800 pounds. Any food. It's the worst, though. It's the same as if you have like somebody in the family who's an alcoholic and you always get him booze. So, and I just always get him food and he'd eat it. He'd eat it right away.
And you know what my wife got me?
What should she get you?
Happy Nuts.
Oh, my goodness. These nuts?
No, it's called Happy Nuts. It's like I don't know, something you rub on your nuts.
Oh, it's not
moisturized? I'm not
sure. I was hoping maybe she'd get you a new razor.
No.
One you like.
She threw away my razor.
Happy Nuts, is it?
Yeah, Happy Nuts.
Nice.
I'd had that razor longer than we'd been together, and she threw it away.
Yeah. I don't like things around my nuts. It's just a little aside by the end. I'm not really.
It's not a razor.
Well, I'm just saying, even applying them,
you wouldn't want to put lotion?
No, I don't need.
Oh.
My nuts are fine.
I've never done it, but I got some.
Are they happy?
I haven't used it yet.
Oh, so you don't really care about it. You're going to have to lie to your wife and say you used it and say they're real happy. Is it coconut scented, maybe? I would think it would be because of the
ask my wife. I don't know.
We'll have to see. The coconut. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, so she was thinking, I don't know, that sort of gift, in my mind, I would start thinking about why I got Happy Nuts and like, what do you
I think she was trying to be funny.
Yeah, so that's
like an inappropriate gift.
Underwear. Yes. Oh, yes, so that's cool.
There's this little sense of humor to the little lady, you know?
Yeah, you got more than me. I got a camera from you months ago. That's
true. Wow, that's it. You haven't opened it yet.
I haven't. That's right. I see it. It's right here. I'll connect it someday. We'll see. You made crazy promises that it would be today. It was not. But with that,
I don't want to.
You said it at the end of last episode on the Patreon that I was going to hook up the camera, and I said I don't think that's happening. So
you said you might actually.
Yeah, I did say I might, but I did not. I actually thought of it, but then lo and behold, you sent me the link, and I actually thought we were going to start at 1:30, and you sent it like at 5 after 1. So I'm like, oh shit, I got to go down, and we started.
My bad.
So here we
So
are.
the best gift I got my oldest son who's 10. I got him Battleship. Now I'm going to put it there. Hasbro does not make Battleship like they used to. It's not quite as great as the version I grew up with, but it's still a lot of fun. And I just housed him, dude.
Yeah.
Like he had no idea about strategy on how to play Battleship. He was whipping left and right.
So he was just randomly saying
crap on him. Oh yeah, he was. He was like dropping on the same line. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So at one point, like, did you try to pull in I'm a military man, son, like something like that?
No, I wasn't going to
military strategy. Son.
I wasn't trying to make it easy on him. I was like, looks like the old man still got some fucking moves, huh, kid?
And the last,
what you gonna do now? You gonna cry to mommy? You know, you got a little tear like welled up. But like that's what I'm talking about.
Let's get the ambulance out here.
No free ride.
I don't think I've ever played Battleship, even with my kids back in the day, without cheating. Very easy to cheat with that game. So
you cheat in Battleship? What do you move your ships?
Yeah, there's not one game. There's not one game.
You're an integrity violator.
No. I try. You're not trying. I've never had a game that I did not cheat in. I will find ways to cheat in games that you can't cheat. I don't care. I need to win. And that's the thing. We've talked about this before. I don't need to win. I need the other person to lose. And I love it. We were talking on the aficionados that time. Like, I love seeing people lose. That's one of my only joys in life. And I love it. And I cheat to do it. Or, hurt people and things like that. Sports, you can cheat and at the same time hurt people. That's the best. Hockey is the best sport ever with that. So I love it.
And that's why you beat up that guy with multiple sclerosis?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, anytime. Like I would hang back in any sort of thing. You're in the other zone. You're there as a shot and it clears out of you just hang back a little because that one defenseman's going to be there and you just turn around and whack him in the shins. Nobody's watching you back there. People yelling from the crowd. It's great. I love it. But yeah, multiple scrum. I don't care.
Didn't you once dump a guy in a fucking wheelchair during a basketball game?
Possibly. I did actually, you say that we were playing a pickup game of basketball with pretty much my three best friends were playing. And the one guy, for no reason, I mean, it's just a pickup game, half court too. And he ended up having like what would have been a layup. I leveled him. He went into the pole and broke his nose. We had to take him to the hospital. And I did not ever apologize. Never will. I was playing hard.
Was he still your friend?
Not right away, but he came back. He came back eventually. It actually did take me to go to college and then come back after 4 years for him to kind of be friendly with me again. But then I actually became a roommate with him. And his nose was screwed up. Mine's as well. My nose has been broken like 10 times. When I eventually put the camera on, you'll see. Bit crooked. But yeah,
you deserved every one of those breaks, Jim.
I probably did. I did. A couple of them from just punches, but usually
absolutely. 4 or 5 at least from punches.
Yeah. A lot of it was like diving in hockey and getting kicked and shit like that. But actually a couple of them from wrestling as well. That happens. Don't have cauliflower ear though, thank God. But yeah, I have a lot of people I consider friends that aren't really friends anymore because of stuff like that. So I've given up. I rarely will try to put myself in a competitive situation because I'm a complete asshole.
Unless it's with your kids, then it's good.
Well, yeah, it is good.
You were playing pickleball within the last couple weeks.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I will play, but I will trash talk. Also, in the side deal, I am banned from playing pickleball at our YMCA. That's from a couple of years ago when I didn't even know how to play. And I ended up getting in trouble because there was a YMCA thing where it was a competition to use the exercise bike. And I started talking shit. There was a crazy, like a chat thing online that you can go and inspire each other and whatnot. They eventually found out who I was. Yep. I ended up, I was talking so much crap.
A lot of fatties so in here funny.
Today. Oh my God, I was talking some bad stuff. Tanya she quit because she didn't want anything to do with it because she thought at one point, legit, though didn't make sense, but she said, the stuff you're doing, I think you're going to get arrested. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking shit. I thought I was inspiring people. I ended up being told I was not allowed to do it anymore. I was kicked out of the group. So they were, and then I think the last thing I said was they were all scared. That's what they were.
They didn't want real change, Jim. They were holding themselves back.
Yeah, the pickleball though, I ended up just wanting to see what it was. My son was playing basketball, and the guys, it was two old guys and an old lady, and they asked me if I wanted to play, and I'm like, oh, I never played. And they're like, no, it'll be fun. I almost got in a fight with the guy, and it was the guy on my own team. And it was bad, and I just started yelling at him, and because he was kind of giving me shit because I didn't know how to play, but then I was also being very, like really forceful. I think I ended up hitting the one guy in the forehead.
Like with your finger, like, hey,
no, with the ball, boom. And they're like, we don't hit like that. This is the guy on my team. I'm like, then why the fuck are you playing? Started yelling at him.
Well, you don't play to win? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm saying.
You ain't got no heart?
And that's the thing, too. If there's somebody on my team, I'll never trash talk somebody on my own team. But this guy was giving me shit. So I just said, you just don't want to win. And he's like, it's not about winning. And then I think I threw that stupid racket. I'm like, then I'm not playing. And then they were yelling at me and yelling. And the guy came out and was yelling at me in the hall. And then we kind of needed to be separated. This guy too he might have been 70. Yes, it wasn't my greatest day. Logan saw me he was playing basketball and we were walking. He saw me and just shook his head and went back to basketball. But yeah, and again, I say these things not brag. I know I'm an asshole, so I just can't do it anymore. But I will turn any situation into a competition. That's the problem too. So I'll make these beans, and somehow it'll be a competition with you and your taco bar. Be like, that
you can't
son of a gun. That son of a gun. I'll do this.
I was told I had the best tacos in all the Philippines, and you ain't gonna top that, son.
I probably couldn't, but I did make your gringo sauce the other day.
Delicious.
Just as a dip for some. It was good. I really did like it. I liked it a lot. So
equal parts mayonnaise, equal parts jar of salsa. Mix it up. Delicious.
I even used that Korean or Japanese Koopy mayonnaise. You know what I'm talking about?
Good one, yeah.
Yeah, I used that. And I was like, that'll be good because he's in the film. I just made up something in my mind, but that's really sweet. So it was really good. It was actually too good. I ate so much. I ate a whole bag of Tostitos just going to town. But I did get some burritos this past week, or stuff to make burritos, and I'm going to use that as well. So I'll make them better than you.
No, you won't even touch it. But remember when I was talking about how my wife got like a matcha McFlurry?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you decided that you were going to make your own matcha McFlurry. Yeah.
Yeah, because my wife heard about it. I was just like, man, you should have, Wes's wife got this. That sounds so good. We were like, yeah, I'll make one. Yeah, it wasn't good. She liked it, but I didn't. I didn't like it.
Matcha powder.
I don't like, that matcha powder
Oreo
too. At that point,
disgusting.
It was like, this thing was like $50, I think it cost me with that matcha powder. I almost got some mushroom coffee this week, but that's way too expensive too. I like trying crazy stuff, but I was going to do it, but I didn't. Yeah, that's
so we had a fantastic Christmas, Jim.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
But my kids are little. Your kids are grown up. You're not supposed to have fun Christmases like me.
No,
until you get the grandkids.
Yeah, which I don't know. Tanya's pretty much convinced that'll never happen. Zach actually came to me a week ago and said, do you want grandkids? And I said, yeah, I actually was talking that if we had grandkids right now, I would have bought one of those pizza ovens and put it out on the deck, and like each Friday have pizza night. Like I said to Tanya that day, it was weird that Zach said it, but I said, it'd be so great. They could come over on Friday night. We'll watch a movie. We can even set something up outdoors. And nothing. And then he said, do you want grandkids? And I said, yeah, I was talking about it today. And then he's like, do you want a boy or a girl? I'm like, how the hell are you going to pull that? Why does it matter? We'll see what it is. But I actually, because we had 5 boys, it would be neat to have a granddaughter and see what that's all about. But I actually said I would really like just a boy and a girl if they had 2. So maybe it'll happen.
You got 5 boys. This could be very difficult.
We have 5 boys.
Have any
We're convinced that Ethan, the middle child, he'll just knock up somebody. So, and in that scenario, we've always thought that would happen, and we'll be raising the kid, which my wife would be into. Logan My youngest son, I don't know. I am a shy guy, legit. We're talking here, it's easy. But in normal life, I am the shyest person you'd ever meet.
Unless you're playing sports.
Well, in sports, but that's the thing. That's where you kind of come out of your shell. But in normal deal, like that guy talking to me, I actually, at the very beginning, it showed you, I was nervous about this machine because I was afraid people would get upset at me because I'm sad and I wouldn't know what well, this guy talking to me like threw me off, but I've been told that Logan now is way worse than me and he hasn't even like talked to a girl. So hopefully that changes, but Rafe will probably get his girlfriend pregnant soon. So we'll have a couple kids, but I'm getting old. I need him. Be cool because then I'll actually have a Christmas again. We can have some fun, but not yet. But that's it for me. I'm going to make cowboy beans. That's what I'm doing.
Merry Christmas, Jim. Yep, I hope you enjoy making the beans and making some type of apple.
Jewish apple cake I'll be making. I actually got a text to see if that was done yet, even though I think my wife's going to be home like at 10 tonight. It doesn't take that long. I guess she's making sure. That's all I'm good for. But I'll do that. Jewish apple cake is good, but I'm sick of it by now. At one point we'd have it like 3 times a week because my wife is one of those who'll eat one thing and one thing only and then drive that into the ground to the point where I'll have to go buy stuff and she gets it so much that like the Walmart will change its buying habits and then she'll ditch it and then they'll have a bunch of waste. Happened a couple times. That's it. I'm done.